Hey everybody. You know, the real RNO kind of asked a question recently to me on my channel. It was to the video I reported on recently. Well, one of the videos I had done recently. But this whole situation concerning certain changes over at Archie Comics as far as the Sonic comic goes. And one of the things he asked me, asked me, was about the SatAM characters, and that's the reason why you see them right there. He pretty much asked me something along the lines of, something along the lines, I'm trying to pull the question up here, but basically he asked me something along the lines of, see, this is what he says, this is what the real RNO says. He says, this is what he commented on when I was talking about why Archie protects the franchise game characters. This is what he said to me. He said, better question, I quote, real RNO, this is what he asked me. Better question, if Archie becomes too much like the games, do you think we could lose the SatAM/Archie characters, since they aren't in the games and have only the comics to fall back on? So basically he's asking the question of, you know, since Archie is becoming too aligned with the game universe, if you will, is there a possibility we're going to lose those characters that you see? Well, so far, this character right here, Dulcie, has not been seen for quite some time, and I guess they have a reason. Well, Ian has his own reason. He says he doesn't like the character. You know, so that's why we haven't seen much of her. But as far as, you know, Rotor and Tails and Bunny and Antoine and Sally, you know, no, I don't think we're going to lose them. I mean, yes, Ian Flynn doesn't like Dulcie, but he has said that he does like the SatAM characters. And, you know, I'm kind of glad Real RNO answered this, because I was going to do a video on something that ever since this whole situation has started with all these different edits and different alterations, if you will, and stuff like that occurring in the comic, that, you know, pretty much a lot is going to change. I mean, Ian Flynn has said, and I quote, things are going to change around here. Now, I could definitely tell you, honestly, that I don't think Ian Flynn likes these changes himself, but there's not really much he can do. Now, Aquarius brought something up here. They brought something up as well that Ian Flynn posted at his website. Now he said, this is what Ian Flynn said at his website, it was something like this. If I can get this link highlighted here. Here we go. But this is what Ian Flynn said at his website. Ian Flynn, I guess, has been trying to communicate with the fans the best he can and best he can explain the situation. But this is what Aquarius over here at YouTube gave me a sample of. Ian Flynn posted this at his website. This is what he said at 11:10 at night. This is what he said on Sundays, basically Super Bowl Sunday after the game was over and everything. This is what he said. This is Ian Flynn responding on the 3rd. This is what he said, and I quote, "Okay, folks, there's absolutely no reason to be insulting to each other over this. Again, be civil or get off my form." All right. Now he continues on to say this. "If folks don't want to read the book, they don't have to. I would say folks should stick with the book for a bit after the crossover and see where we take things though." Okay, he basically said okay, let me repeat that. He says, "I would say folks should stick with the book for a bit after the crossover and see where we take things though. There's more going on than echidnas." Now, some people reading that may be kind of happy, may look at that as good news and be like, maybe they will come back. Or maybe there will be more to this than meets the eye. Because it's like I said, why is Julie Sue, why is the Brotherhood, why is Saffron, why is Linda, why are they all in the encyclopedia when they could have easily edited them out a long time ago? It makes you wonder, right? But anyway, getting back on topic, Real RNO basically is asking what if the SatAM cast and some of the Archie cast could be next. And quite honestly, as I was trying to say, with everything that's going on, right now with the comic, behind the scenes and stuff, I truly believe that Archie Comics, and most importantly, Ian Flynn's going to have to rely on the SatAM cast more than ever. I'm not lying. They're going to have to rely on them more than ever, and here's why. You do have some of the game cast, which is okay, but to me, I look at the game cast. I look at Ian Flynn using the game cast, especially the likes of, say, a Shadow and a Rouge and an Omega and a Blaze and a Marina and a Silver. Well, Silver being used a lot anyway right now. But I see all those characters kind of being used on special occasions. Even Tikal and Shade, I do see be used on special occasions. That's why you don't see them as much. There's got to be a reasoning behind them. There's got to be a reasoning as to why they have to be used in the story. So, so basically that's when you're going to see a majority of the game cast is when they're needed to be used in a story. Hold on for a second, folks. But basically, like I said, as far as the SatAM cast goes, they're going to have to rely on them a lot more now. And I'm spending a lot. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. I had to put the bird in the other room because he was going to chirp a lot while I was doing this. But like I was saying, they're going to have to rely on the SatAM cast more than ever now. And yeah, like I said, you got the rest of the game cast, but as I was saying, I think Ian Flynn likes to treat members of the game cast with he likes to treat them for special occasions. Like with Sonic Universe, when that first came out, they wanted to give They wanted to attract not just the current readers and subscribers and the longtime fans to it, but they also wanted to attract the game fans. So how do they do that? How do they do that? They do it by focusing on Shadow, Rouge, and Omega as the central core of that story. And then you take a look at Treasure Team Tango, right? You focused on them. The main focus there was, again, Shadow, Rouge, Omega. And then who did you bring in for a special occasion? You brought in Blaze. You brought Blaze in to join up with Amy and Cream. You brought her in. Now, there's other game cast characters I know as well, like the Battlebird Armada. I get that. Jet, Shallow, and Wave. I get that. And they could be used as well. There's no doubt about that. But these are only for certain special stories and occasions. Now, as far as what's going on, with the comic, so as far as what's going on with the comic, like I said, Ian can rely on them if he wants to, but I believe he's going to have to rely a lot more on the SatAM cast than he's ever done before. So I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I don't think they and certain members of the Archie cast, Archie Sonic cast, are going to go anywhere. Yeah, there are certain characters that Ken Pender's made that we may not see as much anymore, all depending on the settlement and what it was about and what was agreed upon. And, I could perfectly understand how people feel about that. But like I said, with the exception of a few characters that might have been saved or not, Ian Flynn's going to have to rely on this cast here, and he's going to have to rely on the rest of the Archie Sonic cast that are not Ken Pender creations, Ken Pender creations, and just go from there and see what he can do. So, I understand he wants to give focus to both sides of the coin, and that's great. But if you're going to take out characters like a Julie Sue, possibly an Eliza's, you're going to take out the parents and all that, the brotherhood, and you're just going to keep it core focused on other things, then then obviously you have no choice but to rely on what brought you to the dance, as the old saying goes. And that's what Ian Flynn, fortunately, is going to have to do. He's fortunate enough these characters have not been ordered to be dismantled. So he's basically got to focus on these characters now. He's got those to fall back on. He's got to go back to what brought this comic to the dance. And again, I understand he had plans for the kidnap characters and all that, and those plans may still follow through. Those plans still may come to fruition depending on what the settlement agreement was. However, until we know the details, and until we see the characters come back, he's going to have to rely on these characters. That's about it. He's going to have to rely on them. I hate to say it. So, I don't hate to say it, I should say, but to those that are not SatAM fans, then yeah, I hate to say it for them. I should have paraphrased what I said, there. But basically, for the non-SatAM fans, I hate to say it for them, but he's going to have to rely on the SatAM cast from now on, as well as the rest of the Archie Sonic cast. Those that are not official Ken Pender creations, if you know what I mean. So, hopefully that answered the question for real RNO. You guys got comments, video responses, let me know down below, and I'll talk to you later. God bless.